The weather is about to turn deadly, and it's happening in less than 48 hours. A truly insane winter pattern is developing that could impact over 100 million Americans east of the Rockies. We're talking about multiple blizzards, life-threatening Arctic air, and temperatures that could plunge to minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit in some areas. This isn't just cold. This is the kind of cold that kills people who aren't prepared. The critical question you need answered right now: is your city in the danger zone? By the end of this emergency briefing, you'll know exactly when each storm hits, how cold it's going to get in your specific region, and the one critical date this week that changes everything. But there's a twist, and it could make this pattern even worse than what I'm about to show you. And in just 30 seconds, I'll reveal which major city could see blizzard conditions with zero visibility starting Tuesday afternoon, and most residents have no idea it's coming. Then at minute 5, the shocking temperature forecast that has meteorologists using words like dangerous and life-threatening. Here's what the latest satellite data and computer models are showing right now that should make you stop everything and pay attention. As promised, Minneapolis and Duluth are in the bullseye for Tuesday's blizzard. We're talking about 12 to 14 inches of snow in less than 12 hours. But here's the part that makes it deadly: winds gusting to 50 miles per hour. That creates whiteout conditions where you cannot see the car in front of you, snowfall rates of 2.5 inches per hour. Road crews can't keep up with that. This is the kind of storm where people die in their cars. But that Tuesday storm? That's just the warm-up act. The real danger starts Thursday. An Arctic blast of historic proportions is about to unleash from Canada. And when I say historic, I mean temperatures we haven't seen in 5 years in some regions. This is the polar vortex breaking apart and sending its coldest air straight into the heart of America. The jet stream, that river of air high in the atmosphere that steers our weather, is doing something meteorologists only see a few times per decade. It's dipping into a deep trough pattern that's going to act like a highway for Arctic air. And once that door opens Thursday night, there's no closing it for at least 5 to 7 days. Question: have you experienced minus 20 to minus 30 degree wind chills? Because that's what's coming for tens of millions of you. And at those temperatures, exposed skin freezes in under 5 minutes. Let me show you exactly how this pattern evolves hour by hour, day by day, so you understand the magnitude of what's about to happen. Right now, Monday afternoon, we already have snow falling across the mid-Atlantic. Virginia is getting hammered with 1 to 2 inches per hour. North Carolina seeing accumulation. West Virginia under winter weather advisories. This is happening as I'm recording this. Some areas in southern Virginia could see 6 to 7 inches by tonight. But this is minor compared to what's coming. This is the preview. The main feature starts Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. Central Time. A low-pressure system explodes out of Canada. This is what meteorologists call an Alberta Clipper. A fast-moving storm that originates in western Canada and races southeast like a freight train. But this one is different. This one has jet stream support. This one has moisture. This one is going to rapidly intensify. Tuesday 8 a.m. Freezing rain and snow break out across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota. Roads instantly become ice rinks. This is when the first accidents start happening. Tuesday noon, the storm is now a full-blown blizzard. The pressure is dropping rapidly. We're talking about 15 millibars in 6 hours. That's bomb cyclone criteria. When pressure drops that fast, winds explode. Tuesday, 2 p.m., northern Minnesota is in whiteout conditions. Visibility drops to 0. Interstate 94 becomes impassable. State Patrol starts closing highways. But it's too late. Hundreds of vehicles are already stranded. Tuesday, 4 p.m., the blizzard slams into northern Wisconsin. Cities like Wausau and Rhinelander are getting pounded with 3 to 4 inches per hour. The wind is howling at 45 to 55 miles per hour. Snowdrifts of 4 to 6 feet are burying cars. This is when people start running out of gas, sitting in traffic, with temperatures dropping into the single digits. Tuesday, 6 p.m., Green Bay starts seeing heavy snow. By 7 p.m., it's a full blizzard there too. The storm is spreading east into Michigan's Upper Peninsula. The worst snowfall rates are now hitting the thumb of Michigan and areas north of Bay City. Tuesday, midnight. The storm begins to weaken, but snow continues. Widespread 6 to 10 inches has fallen across a narrow corridor from North Dakota to northern Michigan. But isolated areas near Duluth and northern Wisconsin have 12 to 14 inches, with drifts reaching 6 feet. Here's the twist, though. Cities like Minneapolis, Des Moines, Chicago, Milwaukee, they miss most of it. maybe 1 to 2 inches. This is a narrow, intense band of heavy snow. If you're 50 miles south of that band, you barely see anything. If you're in that band, you can't leave your house. The best part is coming at minute 3. Here's why Tuesday's storm is just setting the stage for something much worse. Tuesday's blizzard brings the first shot of cold air, but it's not significant yet. Temperatures drop maybe 10 to 15 degrees. Uncomfortable but not dangerous. What happens Thursday changes everything. And this is where the pattern turns from bad to potentially catastrophic. Thursday night, 10 p.m. Mountain Time, the Arctic outbreak begins. Temperatures in Montana and North Dakota start plummeting. We're not talking about gradual cooling. We're talking about a 20 to 30 degree drop in just a few hours. Friday morning, 6 a.m., the Arctic air crashes into Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Nebraska. Morning temperatures that should be in the 20s are instead near zero. Wind chills are already minus 10 to minus 20. Friday afternoon, 3 p.m., the cold spreads east. Chicago, Milwaukee, Detroit. You're all feeling it now. Temperatures in the single digits, with wind chills below zero. Friday night into Saturday morning. This is when it gets truly dangerous. And this is what I need you to understand because people are going to die if they're not prepared. Saturday morning, 6 a.m., wake-up temperatures across the upper Midwest are minus 5 to minus 15 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the actual temperature. Now add in winds of 15 to 25 miles per hour. Wind chills drop to minus 25 to minus 40 degrees. But here's the shocking part, and this is at minute 5 as I promised. Some areas could see wind chills of minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not a typo, minus 50. At those temperatures, frostbite occurs in under 2 minutes, hypothermia in under 10 minutes. If your car breaks down, if you run out of gas, if you're stranded, you're in a life or death situation. And this isn't just for one morning. This persists through Saturday night, and into Sunday. Some areas will have 48 to 72 hours of dangerous cold. Schools will close. Businesses will shut down. Flights will be canceled. Power grids will be stressed to the breaking point. Question: what happens when millions of people crank their heat to max and the power grid fails? Because that's the nightmare scenario emergency managers are planning for right now. The geographic extent of this Arctic blast is what makes it so dangerous. Let me show you exactly who's affected and how cold it gets where you live. The core of the coldest air Saturday morning sits over the upper Midwest. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Northern Illinois, your ground zero. Actual air temperatures of minus 10 to minus 20 degrees. Wind chills of minus 30 to minus 50. But the cold doesn't stop there. It spreads like a blanket across the entire northern tier of the country. North Dakota and South Dakota, minus 15 to minus 25 degrees. Wind chills of minus 40 to minus 55. This is stay inside or die cold. Michigan, minus 5 to minus 15 degrees. Wind chills of minus 20 to minus 40. The Great Lakes are still unfrozen, which means lake effect snow on top of the dangerous cold. Chicago, Saturday morning low of 0 degrees. Wind chill of minus 20. The windy city living up to its name in the worst possible way. Ohio Valley including Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, low of 5 to 10 degrees. Wind chills of minus 5 to minus 15. Pipes will freeze, cars won't start. Northeast including Buffalo, Syracuse, Albany, Boston, New York City, lows in the single digits to low teens. Wind chills near 0 to minus 10. This might not sound as bad as the Midwest, but these cities aren't equipped for this. Many homes have poor insulation. Heating systems will struggle. And here's the uncertainty that could make this even worse. How far south does the Arctic air go? Right now, there are 2 scenarios that computer models are showing. Scenario 1, the zonal pattern. The jet stream stays relatively flat across the northern United States. The Arctic air sits mainly north of Interstate 40. The Gulf Coast, deep south, and southeast get a cold front, but nothing extreme. This is the more likely scenario based on current data. Scenario 2, the diving pattern. The jet stream dips sharply south. The Arctic air plunges all the way to the Gulf Coast. Cities like Atlanta, Birmingham, Memphis, Little Rock see their coldest temperatures in years. Potentially over 100 million people from the Rockies to the Atlantic experience dangerous cold. This is less likely but still possible. The difference between these 2 scenarios is hundreds of miles and tens of millions of people. That's why you need to stay updated. Because if the models shift towards scenario 2 in the next 24 to 48 hours, the impact scale goes from massive to catastrophic. But wait, there's more, and this is the part that should really concern you. Don't miss this next part because it affects everyone, not just the cold zones. We're not just tracking one blizzard and one Arctic blast. We're tracking a pattern. Multiple storms, repeated impacts, no time to recover between events. Wednesday, the day after Tuesday's blizzard. The storm moves into the northeast. Now it's a weakening system, but it still brings widespread 2 to 4 inches of snow from upstate New York through interior New England. Coastal areas see mainly rain, but inland sees snow. Roads that were just cleared? Covered again? Wednesday night into Thursday. Lake effect snow cranks up off the Great Lakes. Watertown, New York could see significant accumulation. Buffalo's south towns could get buried. This is on top of whatever fell Tuesday, Thursday. Another disturbance forms across the northern plains. This one could track even further south than Tuesday's storm. Early indications show potential for snow from the Rockies through the Central Plains and into the Ohio Valley. Details are still uncertain, but it bears watching. Friday. As the Arctic air crashes in, we could see snow showers breaking out ahead of the cold front. Nothing organized, just scattered snow from Kansas to the northeast. But when you combine light snow with rapidly dropping temperatures and increasing winds, you get icy roads and dangerous travel. Saturday and Sunday, high pressure dominates. This is what brings the extreme cold, but high pressure also means clear skies, no clouds to trap heat, radiational cooling at night. This is when temperatures bottom out. The total impact over 7 days? Some areas could see 20 to 30 inches of total snowfall from multiple events, followed by the coldest weather in 5 years. Infrastructure is going to fail. People are going to be unprepared. And deaths will occur? Now let me tell you what you absolutely must do in the next 24 to 48 hours. This is not optional. This is survival. Step 1. If you're in the Tuesday blizzard zone, Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Dakotas, northern Michigan, complete all your preparations today. Monday, right now. By Tuesday morning, it's too late. Roads will already be dangerous. Stores will be closed or cleaned out. What you need: food for a week minimum, water, 3 gallons per person, medications refilled, flashlights and batteries, manual can opener, battery-powered or hand-crank radio, full tank of gas in your vehicle. Step 2. If you're anywhere in the northern tier from the Rockies to the Atlantic, prepare for the Arctic blast. This is everyone from Montana to Maine. Wednesday and Thursday are your prep days. Protect your pipes. Keep heat at 65 degrees minimum even when you're not home. Open cabinet doors under sinks. Let faucets drip slightly. Know where your main water shutoff is. Have backup heat. If your power goes out in -20-degree weather, you need a way to heat at least one room. Fireplace with adequate wood supply. Generator with proper outdoor ventilation. Never inside. Even extra blankets and warm clothing can be life-saving. Vehicle preparation. Emergency kit in every car. Blankets, food, water, flashlight, phone charger, jumper cables, ice scraper, small shovel. If you break down in -40 wind chill, these items keep you alive until help arrives. Step 3. Make a communication plan. Who are you checking on? Elderly parents? Neighbors who live alone? People without transportation? When power and phones fail, how do you reach them? Have a plan now. Step 4. Know where to go if you lose power for an extended period. A friend's house with a generator? A warming center, usually schools or community centers? Don't wait until you're freezing to figure this out. Question. What about the areas not in the direct path? The south? The southeast? Do you need to prepare? Here's the answer. Yes, but differently. Even if the Arctic air doesn't reach you fully, you're still affected. Here's how. Supply chains. Trucks can't deliver when roads are impassable and dangerous. Food shipments slow down. Store shelves take longer to restock. Stock up on basics now while you can. Heating costs. When demand spikes across half the country, natural gas and electricity prices rise everywhere. Your heating bill next month will be higher than normal even if your weather is fine. Travel disruptions. Major airports in Chicago, Minneapolis, Detroit, Cleveland, Boston, they'll have delays and cancellations for days. If you have travel plans this week or next, expect problems. Economic impact. When a third of the country essentially shuts down for weather, it affects everyone. Stock markets react. Businesses lose revenue. It ripples through the entire economy. The Pacific Northwest faces its own crisis during this pattern. While the Midwest and Northeast deal with snow and cold, Oregon and Washington are dealing with flooding. 5 to 7 inches of rain forecast for some areas. Rivers will flood. Mudslides are possible in areas that saw wildfires. If you're in Western Oregon or Washington, you face a completely different but equally dangerous situation. Now let me show you what happens after this initial week of chaos, because the pattern doesn't just stop. Next week, Monday and beyond, the coldest air retreats slightly but doesn't leave. It consolidates over the Northeast and Great Lakes. Temperatures moderate somewhat, but stay below average. We're not going back to normal anytime soon. Mid-December, models show continued troughing across the eastern United States. That means more opportunities for storms. The exact details beyond 7 days are uncertain, but the overall pattern favors continued winter weather. Christmas week. Too far out for specifics, but early indications show the cold pattern persisting through the holidays. If you have travel plans, build in flexibility. This might be a winter where you don't make it to Grandma's house. The Climate Prediction Center's outlook for the next 2 weeks shows high probability, 70 to 80%, of below normal temperatures from the Rockies to the Atlantic. That's an unusually strong signal for that long of a period. Here's what emergency management professionals are doing right now, and if they're preparing this aggressively, you should be too. FEMA has pre-positioned supplies and response teams in multiple states. They're not waiting to see if it gets bad. They're assuming it will. The National Guard is on standby in at least 6 states. That means governors expect to need military assistance for rescues, supply delivery, and emergency operations. Power companies have brought in crews from southern states. Line workers from Texas, Alabama, Florida are heading north to help restore power when failures occur. And notice I said when, not if. Hospitals have activated their disaster plans. They're increasing staff, stocking extra supplies, and preparing for a surge in cold-related emergencies, heart attacks from snow shoveling, hypothermia cases, carbon monoxide poisonings from people using generators improperly. Major retailers have increased inventory of winter supplies in affected regions. They know what's coming. They're preparing for the rush. If all these professionals who do this for a living are in emergency mode, why would you wait to prepare? Let me address the skeptics. Some of you are thinking, forecasters always hype winter storms. It never ends up as bad as they say. Fair point. But here's the difference. We're not forecasting one specific storm a week out. We're forecasting a pattern. Patterns are much more reliable than individual storms. We know with very high confidence, 90% plus, that Arctic air is coming. We know with high confidence, 70 to 80%, that multiple snow events will occur. What we're still fine-tuning is exact tracks, exact timing, exact snowfall amounts for specific locations. But the big picture is locked in. Cold, snow, dangerous conditions, multiple impacts, extended duration, those facts are solid. The European model, American GFS model, and Canadian model all agree on the overall pattern. When multiple independent computer models show the same thing, you don't ignore it. This is the most significant winter weather pattern so far this season. For some regions, it could be the most significant in 5 years, maybe longer. Tomorrow, I'll have updates as overnight model runs complete. Are the tracks shifting? Is the cold diving further south? You need the latest information because details matter. Tuesday morning, before that blizzard hits, final preparations and timing. Wednesday, updates on the Northeast impacts. Thursday, the final call on how cold it's really going to get and where. And here's my promise to you. I will not hype this beyond what the data shows. But I also won't downplay genuine danger. My job is to give you accurate information so you can make informed decisions. Your job is to take that information seriously and act on it. Share this forecast with everyone you know in affected areas. Family, friends, coworkers, neighbors. The more people who prepare, the fewer emergencies we have, the fewer rescues needed, the fewer tragedies. Check on elderly relatives. Offer to help them prepare. Make sure they have heat backup. Make sure someone is checking on them daily once the cold hits. If you have young children, explain the dangers honestly but calmly. Make sure they understand why they can't go outside when it's minus 30 degrees. Make sure they know what to do in an emergency. The next 48 hours determine whether you're prepared or scrambling. Choose prepared, every single time. This is a generational weather pattern, the kind people will remember for years. Remember that insane week in December 24 when it was -30? That's the conversation people will have for a decade. But more importantly, remember how we prepared and made it through fine? That's the conversation I want you to have. Stay safe, stay warm, stay informed, and tomorrow I'll have the latest updates on exactly what's developing. Until then, get ready. Winter is here with a vengeance.